I'm back! It might not sound very impressive, but this past week, it's a bloody miracle I'm still here. Anyway, on to the second episode then. Here is the story of Wilfred Germ. More of him in a moment. Let's start with a man inside of a lab whose only friends were rodent. Dr. McNeil, the junior researcher at the biolaboratories of Milford and Nurture, was a lonely boy with an aching penchant for engineering DNA while eating croissants. Personally, I have my concerns as to what might happen at some point. A crumb should inadvertently get dropped in the mix and develop a bakery mutant. In young McNeil's case, as with many, blind ambition was rife. He spent every waking hour in his lab, and so, lucky boy, had no wife. But it haunted his soul that he was all alone, save his favourite lab rat, Roy. And on one caffeine-fueled night of mind-numbing ennui, he decided to create a small boy. He'd make a lad with whom he could play, and laugh, and teach, and for whom he could care, without the inconvenient rigmarole of impregnating some harlot with red hair. So he set about with reckless gusto, designing a child of his own. The specifications: black hair, blue eyes, and essentially a Y chromosome. Late that night, or perhaps it was early on in the following day, McNeil broke into the sperm bank and pilfered a file labelled Ray. Next, he snuck into the cryo-freezing lab, knocking out cold the intern. He fumbled, panicked, and nicked an egg he failed to realise read worm. Dr. McNeil, in a hurried fashion, so no one could prove the theft, merged the egg and one sperm, and then for good measure, the fool mixed in what was left. With the impatience to which some scientists subscribe, the doc attempted to speed the turn, so he whacked the mix in the microwave, then set the dial to burn. Thunder rolled, lightning struck, illuminating the doc's expression plainly, revealing through electric blue, the doc cackling quite insanely. He donned his pink, fluffy rubber gloves, purchased in Singapore, slipped on protective goggles, then popped open the door. The doctor dropped to his knees, as with horror he did learn his beautiful, black-haired, blue-eyed boy was actually half worm. "Ye gods!" he howled, his eyes pinned wide, as he stared at the babe and whined. "This thing I've created, what have I done? It's worse than Frankenstein's." McNeil picked up Wormboy with arms outstretched, his fear now running wild. He pulled a face at his own disgrace, and the newborn kid. He smiled. Yes, the violins swell, and exactly on cue, the scientist's heart, it melted. McNeil fashioned a fake birth certificate, and labelled the boy Germ Wilfred. And so, true to plan, McNeil and his son read books, sang rhymes, and played games in the sun, until all too soon, one sad July noon, a cloud gathered over their fun. A snitchy young upstart by the name of Doc Lynch spotted McNeil and creation. He swiftly legged it, with evidence in tow, to the top moral minds of the nation. The panel struck McNeil from the register, then sent forth their rule. Young Wilfred will be put in foster care and carted off to school. Wilfred found his foster folks to be sparkle clean, friendly, and nice. They enrolled him at a top public school of equally high-levelled price. Wilfred, the worm boy, though sad for his father, relished the new experience. He slithered his way off to his new school, the wonderfully named St. Grievance. The problem is, small boys more often than not possess a morbid curiosity. With public school boys, it's made infinitely worse by their parents' generosity. With funds from their folks, Wilfred's classmates indulged in a favourite habit. They strapped Mr. Germ to a table and dissected him bit by bit. Though the news of Wilf's demise saddened him, Mr. McNeil still chose to unfurl to his pet lab rat Roy his plans to create a pretty stick insect girl. So, that's Wilfred Germ. I have no idea which one I'm going to do next. It depends on whether I survive the next week. So, pray for me. But for now, goodbye.